woman named Shindu who lived in a village at the foot of Snow-Capped Mountain.
Her husband had died, and she had no children, so she was very lonely.
And she was always tired too, for she had not one to help with the chores.
All on her own she cleaned the hut,
Cleaned the yard,
Tended the chickens,
washed her clothes in the river, carried water.
cut firewood,
and cooked her solitary meals.
At the end of each day, Shindu gazed up at the snowy peak and prayed.
Great mountain spirit, my work is too hard. Send me help.
One day, Shindu was weeding her small field by the river where she grew vegetables and bananas and gourds. Suddenly, a novel chieftain appeared beside her.
I am a messenger from the great mountain spirit.
He handed the astonished woman some gourd seeds.
Plant these carefully. They are the answer to your prayers.
Then the chieftain vanished.
What help could I get from a handful of seeds?
Still, she planted and tended them as careful as she could. Shindu was amazed to how quickly the seeds grew. In just a week, long vines trailed over the ground and ripe gourds hung from them.
Shinda brought the gourds home, sliced off the tops, and scooped out the pulp. Then she laid the gourds on the rafters of her hut to dry.
When they hardened, she could sell them at the market as calabashes to be made into bowls and jugs.
One fine gourd Shindu set by the cook fire. This one she wanted to use herself, and she hoped it would dry faster. The next morning, Shindu went off again to tend her field.
But meanwhile, back in the hut,
The gourds began to change.
They sprouted heads, then arms.
then legs.
Soon they were not gourds at all.
They were
Children!
One boy lay by the fire where Shindu had put the fine gourd.
The other children called to him from the rafters.
Kitete, come help us. We'll work for our mother. Come help us, Kitete, our favorite brothers.
Kitete helped his brothers and sisters down from the rafters.
Then the children started quickly on the chore.
Clean the hut,
Clean the yard,
Feed the chickens.
wash the clothes,
Carry water.
cut the wood.
cook the meal.
All joined in, but Kitete,
Drying by the fire had made the boy slow-wit, so he just sat there smiling wildly.
When the work was done, Kitete helped the others climb back on the rafters.
then they all turned again into gourds. That afternoon, as Shindu returned home, the other woman of the village called to her.
Who were those children in your yard today?
Where did they come from?
Why were they doing your chores?
Are you all making fun of me? But when she reached her hut, she was astonished.
The work was done and even her meals was ready.
She could not imagine who had helped her. The same thing happened the next day. As soon as Shindu had gone off, the gourds turned into children
With heads.
And arms.
and legs. The ones on the rafter called out.
Kitete, come help us. We'll work for our mother. Come help us, Kitete, our favorite brother.
Kitete helped them down and they did all the chores.
Clean the hut,
Clean the yard,
Feed the chickens.
wash the clothes,
Carry water.
cut the wood.
cook the meal.
Then they climbed back to the rafters and turned again into gourds.
Once more, Shindu came home and was amazed to see the work all done. But this time, she decided to find out who were her helpers. The next morning, Shindu pretended to leave, but she hid beside the door of the hut and peeked in. And so she saw the gourds turned into children
With heads.
And arms.
and legs, and she heard two ones on the rafter call out.
Kitete, come help us. We'll work for our mother. Come help us, Kitete, our favorite brother.
Kitete helped them down. As the children rushed out the door, they nearly ran into Shindu.
She was too astonished to speak, and so were the children. But after a moment, they went on with their chores. Clean the hut,
Clean the yard,
Feed the chickens.
wash the clothes,
Carry water.
cut the wood,
cook the meal.
When they were done, they started to climb back to the rafters.
No, no! You must not change back into girls. You will be the children I never had and I will love you and care for you.
So Shindu kept the children as her own.
She was no longer lonely.
And the children were so helpful. She soon became rich, with many fields of vegetables and bananas, and flocks of sheep and goats.
That is, all were helpful but Kitete, who stayed by the fire with his simple-minded smile. Most of the time, Shindu didn't mind.
In fact, Kitete was really her favorite because he was like a sweet baby.
But sometimes, when she was tired and happy about something else, she would get annoyed and yell at him.
You useless child! Why can't you be smart like your brothers and sisters and work as hard as they do?
Kitete would only greet back at her. One day, Shindu was out in the yard cutting vegetables for a shoe. As she carried the pot from the bright sunlight into the hut and tripped over Kitete.
She fell, and the clay pot shattered, vegetables and water streamed everywhere. Stupid boy! Haven't I told you to stay out of my way? But what can I expect? You're not a real child at all. You're nothing but a calabash.
The very next moment, Kitete was no longer there.
In his place was a gourd.
I didn't mean when I laid. You're not a calabash. You're my own darling son.
The other children came crowding into the hut.
Oh, children, please do something. They look at each other a moment.
Then over each the other climbed, scampering up the rafters.
When the last child had been helped up by Shindu, they called out one last time.
Kitete, come help us. We'll work for our mother. Come help us, Kitete, our favorite brothers.
For a long moment, nothing happened.
Then slowly,
The gourds began to change.
It sprouted a head, then arms.
then legs.
At last, it was not a gourd at all.
It was
Kitete!
Shindu learned her lesson.
Ever after, she was very careful what she called her children.
And so they gave her comfort and happiness.
All the rest of her days.
The
The Calabashi Kids. Thank you for watching.